we're gonna have to put together into a box, or we're gonna have to put it into foil. And this person who's brave enough to do this with me is going to get a pen. Okay? I will help you, but you have to just be willing to just try it. Just go for it. And remember, I will help you. Who's up? Who's brave enough to try this? 1, 2. No one else? 3. 3. Emma. All right, ready? Okay, so first thing we have to do is this one squared, right? Which is the cosine of a minus b. And remember, that's just a reference angle, so don't think that we're going to have to multiply that out times the cosine of a minus b minus 1. We'll have to do it twice, right? All right, so do you want me to write it out as a box, or can we just FOIL it? What do you think? Okay, so what's this one times this one, Emma? Yes, a minus b squared. Good. What's this one times this one? -1 times -1. 1. How about this one? A minus b, good. And this one? Negative cosine a minus b. We're not going to get through this today. We're going to get through probably this page and maybe this thing. But the nice news is you'll have absolutely no homework tonight. Okay? And we'll start with that story tomorrow. So if you have -1 of this and -1 of this, Emma, then what do they add up to? Good. So this is cosine squared a minus b plus 1 minus 2 cosine of a minus b. Do you guys see how this is really hard? Anybody? Or do you guys think this is easy?
This is hard.
Okay. Are you happy you don't have to recreate this on your own? Okay, so this is just the first half so far, Emma, right? Now the second half is sine a minus b minus 0, but if you subtract 0 from something, do we have to care about it? No, like 5 minus 0 is just 5, right? So I'm even going to like scribble that out right now and just say, so what would this be if we just square it? A minus b. Now, do you remember that what Mason did on the first one? He started saying cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1, right? Okay, so we're going to use the same trick that Mason did, but what equals out to 1 here? What parts? Good, so these two are going to be 1, right? Okay, can you tell me the final thing that I'm going to write here, the simplified one? So these two are replaced by 1. Okay. Good. Let me give you a pen, ma'am. Fantastic job. That is tough stuff. Purple, light green, or orange. It's a collection. All right. We've gotten through the tough stuff. Now it's going to get way easier, okay? All right, third page. You can do it. Stay with me. I know this is tough. You are capable. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. I promise it's going to be a good story. In fact, maybe I'll tell it today, and we'll just get through this much. Okay? Think we can do that in like 3 minutes? Have 5 minutes for a story? No homework tonight? Yeah? All right, now what I'm going to do is I am going to take this. Do you see how this equals PQ? Everybody look up. This equals PQ, right? But this also equals PQ. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. So I'm taking that first long square root, and I'm going to set it equal to that other square root. And the first square root simplified to 2 minus 2 cosine A cosine B minus 2 sine A sine B. And the second square root was 2 minus 2 cosine A minus B. And I'm trying to find out the formula for cosine of A minus B. So I'm going to try to get this right here by itself right now. That's what I want to get by itself. So how do I get rid of a square root? Square both sides. And when I square both sides, that actually takes care of this square root and that square root. Nice. How do I get rid of this positive 2? Subtract 2 on both sides. Looks like that cancels out this and this. All right, now I'm going to rewrite it. Negative 2 cosine A cosine B minus 2 sine A sine B equals negative 2 cosine of A minus B. All right, so now all we have to do is get rid of this times by a negative 2. Divide by negative 2. So if I divide both of these things by negative 2, that's going to cancel that out and this one out, right? So I end up with my final answer, which is cosine of A minus B is equal to cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. And that is the formula we've been trying for this whole time. This proof by itself is enough for a math professor to basically do in his lifetime. Because it's hard, I mean, would anybody think of this? Like, let's start with a circle, and let's imagine this, and let's imagine this. Like, it makes sense eventually, but it is really hard for people to come up with these ideas. And somebody did. So we're going to use this tomorrow. And we'll stop there for today. I suppose I should leave it running so Melanie can hear my story, yeah? All right, you guys ready to hear how I met Bo? No homework tonight. Good job. Not complaining, making it through. Do you feel like you understood like 90% of it? 70%?
40.
40? Hands up if you understood more than 40% of what I was talking about. Okay. All right. So when I was in college, when I was a freshman, I lived in this dorm where my roommate and I, her name was Lori, it was like a nice dorm where we had like our own little kitchenette and our own bathroom that we didn't have to share with anyone, but it was like teeny tiny, you could stand in the kitchen and like hit a wall here and hit the stove there, right? Like that's how close we are. When you open the stove, you were hitting the wall on the other side, okay? It was a tiny little nothing. And my roommate, Lori, decided she was going to have a party. My freshman year of college. So Lori decides she's going to get a bootleg copy of Kill Bill 2. And she and her friends are going to watch Kill Bill 2. I had a calculus test the very next day, and this calculus test was worth 30% of my grade. Yeah, it was a big one. And I wasn't ready. And so I was like, okay, I guess you guys are going to have a party, and I am going to study for my calculus test. And so in the dorm I was in, like in the basement, they had this study area. And so I was down there, I'm studying for calculus. She's up there with like, I don't know, 8 people maybe in our tiny little area. And they're watching a movie and so on. And I decide, because I'm bored downstairs, and this is like 9 at night, I was like, you know what I'm going to do is I've got a water gun that's in my dorm room, like a super soaker. And because I brought it, from high school. And I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to carefully get out my super soaker. I'm going to fill it with water. Nobody's going to notice because they're going to be paying attention to the movie. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to